part, I focused on getting as much information as possible. So when I was in final year in Ife, I was attending programs like this, gathering information, listening to people who are doing who are been here, reading newspapers. There was big wasn't poker at that time, but promotion and project. So when I started working, all those things helped me to do well. So I knew I needed to do an Icad', I wrote Icad' exams. I knew I needed to, to do my masters. I did my masters. So it's very important for you to know what you are doing and everything you need to do to get that. So for me, when I got to I got my first job in Alhaji, and I was a guy that was doing masters. I knew I was an accountant, but I was a guy that you can interact with some others like sports, like digital media, and all that. So what that means is that the company saw me as a guy that was versatile, right? So I will advise anybody trying to get ahead in life to versatile. Don't limit yourself just of field. Try to always look something outside of your field. The other factor I would emphasize on is that visibility. Okay, it's one thing to know your work. It's one thing to know things. Another thing to know it, right? So visibility is also very important. I know that some people don't like our own quiet space and all of that. That's still okay. But if you know that you can actually face, you can do a lot of things. You can, maybe you can guys that when you're having meetings in your workplace, you can contribute. All of these things, visibility is another factor. Then the final factor is value, right? So be a person of substance, be a person of value. It's one thing to be if you are visible but you don't have the value, then your incompetence becomes visible, right? People know that you are just an empty barrel. So our advice, guys, be versatile, visible, and of course, be valuable.
Be versatile, visible, and valuable. Thank you very much. Mr. Habeeb, talk of transition from 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship to owning your own startup or big company. I understand that you recently left your 9 to 5 job, even your consultancy job, to start your own startup. What are the signs to know that it's high time I left 9 to 5 for my own business? What are the signs that someone needs to see, and how do they go about it? Thank you. That's the question I have for you.
Thank you very much. So first, I would like to say that it's really nice to be here. I think one of the things that I always advocate for a whole lot is to have conversations like this with everybody. It's important that we're trying to improve ourselves within, but it is also very important that we also have this kind of conversation where we have younger people that are just coming to the career, and they know that, I have people, Muslim brothers, I have Tinsan brothers that I know that I can lean on, they can mentor me, and also for the people at the top to be willing to work with that. At the top, mostly within the corporate space, in the technology space, there's this very big gap. When you look at top level execs in FFT, the big corporates in the country, it's always like a ratio 7 to 3, 8 to 2 Muslims to other religions. Same thing with tech. I go for visas all over the country, all over the world. On average, you see, maybe you struggle to see one other or two other Muslim brothers, whereas you see a lot of other people from other religions. And that's because we have not created the kind of structure they've created to help their younger ones grow. I have benefited from some from churches that have helped me. So it's important that we also have conversations like this. So it's a big pleasure to be here. Talking about transition, I always say that I have a blueprint which I like. And I always say that life in itself and the journey to building wealth is a journey of learning. And it's in stages. The reason why a lot of people struggle is because they try to skip stages, or they have very little understanding of what stage they are at and go with that. So most times, and we don't always all start at the same stage. There are some of us like this, I will start from stage 0. You have to start everything from scratch. And then there are some people that will start from stage 4. Don't try and compare yourself with that kind of person. If you are the kind of person that you know that there is no food at home, don't take the last 100,000 that you have and say you want to go and start business. And that's how it works. So I always say that the first stage is use your time to handle. This is the earliest stage of your life where the only thing you really have to offer is your time. So you're probably doing some smaller jobs at the stage. When you know that, oh, and there's always two phases to it. What you're doing and what you're hoping to do after that. What you're using your time to earn money, your aspiration should be to gain skills that can make you money. The next stage after that is to use your skill to make money. So when you're using your time, even you're still in uni, or even just out of uni, you don't really have any specific thing that you feel like, oh, I really know this thing and I can do that. Then you need to start looking at what skill can I learn that can bring me reasonable money. When you go to the stage of learning a skill to make money, then what you want to go to at that point is you want to go to the point where you can make money with your expertise. There's a difference between making money and building wealth with your skill and making money and building wealth with your expertise. With your skill, you sit down at an office and you resume 9 o'clock, you're expressing your skill. I joined 30 minutes call these days and they pay me for just 20 minutes. Sometimes I say 10 words. I have this sound crazy. And that they pay me for being on the call. That's because I've been able to build some certain level of expertise that people don't trust enough to say, oh, you just let's hear what you want to say. Some people, this is generally, a lot of companies are doing strategy sessions. So generally, I want to so I just go and sit in strategy sessions. Like sometimes I don't even share any strategy. Sometimes I don't even have any strategy to share. The fact that I'm there also helps me so much. So that's the next stage. And then the next thing you want to do after that is to make money with your money. Make money with your resources. I can say this now because I can look back at it and articulate it this way. But to talk about the transition itself, as of when I decided to do 9 to 5, I think back to it now and I tell myself it was a very stupid decision. Because I did it, I thought I had a plan, I thought I understood everything. But in retrospect, it's a very stupid decision. And one other thing, and the key thing I want us to pick from that is, most times life is not always about, I am very, very certain this is what I need to see for it to happen. There are times you just need to make stupid decisions and stand out of stupid decisions. And that's what really entrepreneurship entails. Entrepreneurship, taking that transition, it's a risk. It's a very, very great risk. And if you keep waiting for, I want to be ready, or I need to see this thing or see this thing. So the one thing where you can say is, as long as you're at the point where you know that you're not going to go on. And when I wanted to start my business, and I started my business before I quit my business. I was already consulting before I quit my business. So it had gotten to a point where I felt like, even if this business doesn't go well, at least for some months, I will still have something to eat. I paid 2 years rent in advance. At least I will not see more than the wage. So when you also, that's the key thing to look out for. Starting a business is a very, very difficult thing, particularly in a place like this. So if you feel like, oh, one of my mentors used to say that you can't drink when you're hungry. Because the only thing we dream about is food. So if you say you want to start business and the little money you're supposed to be using to eat, you're using to make salary, and that business will go fast. So first thing is to know that it's time. One is never time. But as long as you have your sustenance, so that I can eat, I have to listen. Life is doesn't have to be comfortable. I think then it makes for a good foundation to start a business. But I would also advise that it's always best to start a business alongside a business. Get to a certain level where you feel like you have clarity. Growth doesn't start as growth first. Growth doesn't start at what people do as growth first today. There were a lot of iterations, a lot of mistakes that we made. And the reason why it survived But because during those period of trial and error, I had another decision. So it's important to take the decision, just do it, just try it, but also know that you have to fall back to that.
Thank you so much. You need to have some plan. CEO is not easy. Thank you very much for the valuable advice. Now to Mrs. Adefunke, as someone who has risen to leadership roles in finance, what skills beyond academic qualifications has helped you or has been most critical in your career growth? And how can young people start developing them today? Thank you.
I'm actually excited to be here. It's an opportunity to at least talk to ourselves and see what we can do to change the narratives about Muslims. Because just like Habeeb said, when you're talking home, you find very few Muslims in that list, in that sector. And we need to change that narrative. And how do we do that? We don't start now. We probably never change it. And Muslims are not meant to be. So this is an opportunity to at least share some insights led from both speakers here and also make us all better in future so that we can make Islam proud. So as I said, apart from my educational background, what else helped me? Really is wanting to seek knowledge, wanting to know more. I always, I started my career as a banker, and at that time, I was just not content with this is your role, just do it. No. I want to know what others are doing. I want to be able to do your job. I want to go beyond the regular, go the extra mile, and like I said, make myself relevant. Relevance was something that I tried to make for myself. Anywhere, if you want to talk to people, get who she can do it. She can try. So I tried to do a lot more than my school. I tried to learn a lot more than I actually needed to use for my own work. I would always go to my colleagues, why are you doing this? How do you do it? What do you actually want to do it? And I remember my very early days, I used to be in the first bank in a market branch where a lot of transactions were not done. They just say, no, yes, take money and take money. I'm like, no, that's not banking. I want to see to just count cash. What else can we do? So customers come with different requests. I want to pay customer. They say, no, we don't do it here. Go to the other brand. Why not? Are we not allowed to do it? Say that allowed, but we don't know how to do it. Then delay. So I just asked the customer, hold on. Submit everything you have. I don't even know what to ask them. But I just say, submit everything you have. I take it to the nearest branch. The customer wants to do this. This is what we have. No, get this, get that. I get back to the customer. I need this. They provide this, I get it done. Of course, I made mistakes. I did make mistakes. But I made mistakes once you learn from it, you feel better next time. And over time, it helped me to grow, even above my contemporaries. Because when the responsibility comes and they want to see who can handle this, I think you can handle it. I want to see who can handle it. Of course, I can try. I don't know how to do it, but I can try. So the willingness to challenge yourself to be better than you're not competing with anyone, but you're competing with your yesterday. I want my today to be better than my yesterday. So I strive to do something different, something extra. I don't know, they call me a I'm not sure there's any. Bring the job on. I'm going to push. It may not be convenient, it may not be easy, but I'm going to try. So that's zeal to try. That's zeal to learn more. That's zeal to not be comfortable within your space. Is what gets you there. Don't be comfortable with it. I'm okay, I know what I'm doing. No. You can't be comfortable. I was talking to someone recently, I said, you've been on this job for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. You are comfortable in one place. Make yourself uncomfortable. Tell yourself that I need to just shake things up for yourself. And the more you shake, the higher you go. I think that's one thing that has helped me to get to where I am.
Thank you so much. A round of applause. Unless you are not taking notes, unless you are not listening, these are valuable insights. Now, I will go back to Sir Jarus. If you are a Twitter sensation, you will know that you have brought someone so valuable to share insights with us, someone you would struggle to get his attention online. Now we have him here. So please be very attentive. Now, we often see situations whereby the CEO of this group he has now been sent away from his company, or he find himself in some issues and all that. Many entrepreneurs underlead the role of policy and regulation, which I've known that you have give consultation speech in these aspects. How can youths better understand and engage with public policy to protect and grow their businesses? Thank you.
Thanks once again for that. Especially when those people when they do business, they are more concerned about the naira cover, right? But you do beyond naira cover. God forbid, today I own a real estate company, right? But sometimes we sell out in advance, right? When you start building out, you start selling it, and people pay us in advance, right? If I make the mistake of spending customer money without leaving the house, it's no longer being a matter of it's not my company. The regulator will step in and take over my company for me. And of course, sanction me for that. So it's not just about you as the owner of the business. You are not doing this people, right? So to avoid that kind of situation where you find yourself, you start a business and you get thrown out of it, or you find the process, I would advise you just consult experts in various fields. Make sure that you consult experts. For us, Jarus owns my real estate company. Every aspect of the of the value chain, we make sure that we have experts here, right? And when we engage government, we make sure that we have a policy expert, behind that, a regulatory expert, to engage government so that they don't come and demolish our houses. Okay? Somebody that knows, the new policies with respect. I'm an accountant, right? My things are an accountant. I found myself in the business, so that I have the money to start the business. But I'm not being the engineer, right? I won't be an engineer, I won't be a lawyer. So consulting experts in various aspects of the business saves you that embarrassment of finding yourself losing your business and even your character, and another thing another related point on this is that policy is also very, very important in business. You tend to underestimate this, right? So as a business person, you need to look at what is the next step of government, what is the thinking the government has to do, what is the next policy that government can do. The government wants to, let me give an example. In 2023, the government of Nigeria came up with the regulation, FX, floating of the naira, right? So we had a situation in which, naira value dollar went from, I think about 700 or so to 171819 at that time, late 2023 to early 2024, due to the government policy, right? Now, when we wanted to start putting money at that time, the worst scenario we expected was, we wanted to do this out, right? It was going to cost us, let's say, 500 million. We now said, let's do 20% inflation adjustment, right? Okay. Based on our calculation, we're going to spend 500 million on this thing, right? Okay, let's now assume that worst case 200 million because of the 20%. Now, we now saw a situation in which one government policy of FX devaluation in late 2023 and 2024 led to dumping of prices of materials. Bag of cement went from, I think, 5,500 at that time to 10,500. The ton of iron went from 5,500, so it went from 50,000 per ton to 1.1 million. So that was a major policy shift, okay, that we never envisaged. What that means is that, something we are trying to give with, let's say, X amount, it will now cost us 2x finish because of the cost of material. Of course, so you need to be in tune with, of course, we survive it, right? We survive it by maybe increasing the prices and all of that. But as a business person, you also need to scan the policy in your environment and make sure that everything is welcome, that something might not be able to see. It may be easy for you to forecast the situation of 20% increase in price in a short period of time. But what you may not be able to forecast is the situation of dumping. Nobody saw that coming. Okay? So, I mean, all of these things need a regulation, policies, kind of things are very important for anybody that wants to play in the business space. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So it's not just about you need to hire people, let them share expertise with you in their field so that you won't make mistakes. Yeah, thank you, sir. Mr. Habeeb, you have helped startups grow, scale up, and I'm aware that you have your own businesses that they have grown and that are also growing. You are our silver sponsor. Before we leave you, we get some food from young males. So it comes from this company for free. So it shows how much is into this business. So when we are saying that we need to learn from them, we know what we are saying. So these companies, you help them grow and all that. I want to add that for young entrepreneurs or startup with limited resources, what simple data should they start tracking, and how should it guide their decision?
Thank you very much. So I always say that for businesses, yeah, because probably I grow businesses very well. That's what business does. But I always say that for a lot of businesses, most times the problem businesses have is not it's not a growth problem. It is a direction and system problem. Most times what you don't have is not, oh, people are not buying my product, or oh, no one is patronizing me. Most times that's usually not the problem most businesses have, particularly at the early stage when they're trying to find it. So as a small business, one thing I always, there are three key things that makes up any business. One is direction, second is system, the third is people. First is what, as a business, what do you do as a business? Why do you do the things you do as a business? Where are you trying to take that business to? What are the people you want to sell that business to? Why should they care about what you're telling them? Whatever it is you're providing for them as a business, how does it affect their life? That's direction. And the key thing you need to understand here is the things that you do, what value does it bring to the people you do it for? I ask a lot of business owners, even, I'm saying this, even some very, very big companies, I ask their CEO, what value does your business bring to your target audience? And then I work a bit in finance, so I work with a lot of fintech. And we get some people say, oh, we provide virtual cards, we provide dollar wallets and the likes. But at the end of the day, nobody cares about your virtual cards and your dollar wallets. And it's the same for every other thing you sell. Oh, I sell dress. Nobody really cares about the dress. What people care about is, how would it make me feel if I wear this dress? What problem does it solve for me if I have a dollar virtual card? How does it improve my life if I have a dollar wallet that I can receive money from? So the biggest part of problems with businesses is, first, they do not understand what their direction is. They do not understand what they're doing. That's the first thing. You first need to be able to define why should people care about it. That's one. The second is systems. And this is where a lot of businesses get it wrong. And it's understandable that they get it wrong, because this is not something anybody learns from anywhere. The people that have learned it from experience. And most times, learn it in a very unstructured way. It is like, oh, I tried to do this in Playboy, and I tried it, and I tried it. Because after you define what your business does and why you get, then there's that process that goes from, this is what I have to offer. These are the people that need it, and you're sure they need it. How do I get that value from my head or from the shop that I have set up? How do I get it from them to the people that need it? And that's where your systems comes into play. I would say at the end, if you own an Instagram store, you manage business, don't let them go to change you. or you are a WhatsApp CEO, you might not have a big need for systems. Yeah, because that process is very straightforward. Someone comes to your DM and say, I want a buyer for it. Say, 50,000, send, and then. But where systems start being a big bottleneck is when you now have 50 orders and you have to reply 50 people via their DMs to start telling each person price, and then you're sending account number to each person, and then you're waiting for UBA or Etica to confirm whether the money has entered, and then one person money entered, the other person, oh yeah, you mistook it for another person's own. But I haven't seen your money. So this is where systems comes into play. So that's where you start building out, oh okay, so how do now I have one customer, how do I scale my business operations or how my business works from one that if I'm able to get, or what system do I need to put in place when I'm at work, that even if I get 1,000 customers today, my business will still function seamlessly. And systems is also a two-part. Systems is structure and people. So now I know that I'm going to hire a customer service person. One customer service person will handle 20 people. We will have a multi-agent system where they can log in, and when they send message to our WhatsApp, everybody can see that message in one place. That's the structure. And then the people is the last aspect of it, ensuring that I have the right people that can help me take my business to the next level. Jarus has said, when you start out with, when I started out, I was very stupid because I would always be like, why should I go and hire somebody like collecting this salary? We'll do it by ourselves. So people is a very, very important for any scale business. When you have a structure and a system in place, it allows you higher rights and higher income. It's also, so you know that, okay, when we get to 100 customers, these are the systems and the structures we need, and then you can follow that. So when you think about business, of course, it's a holistic point of view. And it's not just a lot of us do business as we do it as vibes. But we just wake up, what do I need to do today? We don't have plans. And it's also one of the reasons why it becomes very difficult for people to scale their business. You're selling 10 abayas a week today. You don't have a process or a structure that takes you from 10 to 100. Just become and sell it. So these three aspects are very key, and I think every business person should
Thank you very much. Structure and people. I hope you are noting that. Thank you so much. I will take it to one of the brains behind Ethica. We heard about Ethica today. With the tax campaign that is ongoing in Nigeria, and with your background in tax advisory, what should young business owners and professionals understand about taxes so early enough so that they don't run into legal or financial trouble later? Or if they don't enter into legal trouble, people like me, a lawyer, will not have some money in my pocket. So, but then we still do not want us to tangle in this problem. So, how do they survive? In brief, ma'am. Thank you.
So, for tax issues, a lot of challenges, most of the issues that we have is because a lot of businesses do not keep proper records. You don't keep proper records, and it affects, say, 80-90% of small businesses. There is no record. And apart from records, there's a lot of us do not even have an idea of what our cost components are. You find out that someone gets money, like I said, you can send a buyer. Someone others send a buyer 50,000, 500,000 comes into my account. I bought their buyer at 40,000. Because I'm running a business from my house, and I'm running it myself, it's a one-man show. I don't pay myself a salary. So I just say, oh, I made a profit of 100,000. If that's what's showing in your record, that's what the government is showing tax.
Yeah.
But if you have a good idea of your cost components, the cost of the goods I'm selling, my own salary, the rental space, even if I'm doing it from my home, please see the rents. electricity, water. My children have run some of the errands for me. Please, pay them some salary. Those are part of your cost components. If you have all those cost components fully tidied, thank you very much. Tidying up. You have it, and you have your record. Everything that you go from your account, from the business account, I keep it separate from your personal account. So out of my profit, 100,000, I pay myself the salary of 50,000. Please move the salary from the business account. Sales girl, even if the sales girl is my daughter, I'm making pap at home. Go and fetch water. Go and grind it. That's someone's job. My daughter has done it. Please, let me move the money. Sales girl pay 20,000. I'm using my husband's kitchen to make the pap. Rental space for my business, 5,000 per month. Look around yourself. Ask yourself how much the shops pay. It's 10,000 per month. It's 5,000 per month. Bill it in. At the end of the day, what is left to be taxed is very little, and you have your record properly kept. If anybody is coming to say that, no, you have 1 million in your account, you have to tax the 1 million. If you show your records, nobody's going to tax you for what you have spent. They will tax you. So proper records would make you able to defend yourself before any tax authority, and you are not going to fall short of any law. So please keep proper records, know your cost components, very important.
Thank you very much. Proper recording, know your cost component. A round of applause for her for that wonderful. So we'll be rounding up, and then I would like to take final notes from each of them to the audience in 30 seconds. Final notes. Thank you from Sir Jarus.
Okay, I'm a big advocate of 9 to 5, so I would like to say that not everybody has started a business. So if what comes comfortable to you is 9 to 5, you can excel in it, and so wherever you find yourself, whether it's next time or whether it's business, just try to do it excellently, and I'm sure that the sky is just going to be for you.
Thank you very much. Sir Habeeb, Ajijola,
There is one key thing that I always say, and a lot of people who work with me or people that I've trained in the past, they know that if you ask them, I'm sure there's at least one probably already know what I have to say. Is in whatever you do, the most important thing is the value. I always say, and this is thing that I always say to tell my people, you have to do so much that make people feel stupid for not hiring you. When I started my journey, I know that I did not do any money in the corporate space. The way I would spend a whole month doing a proposal that would have made sure I had done 50% of the work already. So that is me already putting forth so much value that if you now see the proposal and you don't give me improvement, you yourself will be like, you're a stupid person. So I always tell people, put in so much value that people will feel stupid.
Wow.
Okay, so since we're talking financial freedom, I'm just going to do a small brief on financial freedom. A lot of us think financial freedom is, when I get disciplined, if I'm earning 1 million, I'll be free. You won't be free if you're not disciplined. If you earn 10 million per day, you will not be free if you're not disciplined. So first thing is discipline. Like I mentioned about business, know your cost components, know your individual expenses, know your personal expenses, and be disciplined. Be sure that you're not spending above your income. If you're earning 200,000 and you're spending above it, when you earn 500, you will still spend above 500. Discipline is very important. So this thing is financial freedom. First thing is at least have a stable income, which my daughter was in my career. Then have something that is an additional entrepreneurship. Then you move to the point of investment. Where your money is making money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for all our panelists.